Now, in other countries, okay, let's use the UK as an example. As we speak, every Briton who is in the United Kingdom has a fair idea of when he is going to be vaccinated. Okay, there's been lockdown after lockdown after lockdown.
Mm.
Approvals have been given for three vaccination, whatever. And you now know that all you need to do is wait for a letter from the NHS, and that tells you when it will be your turn. Okay, the first group, health workers, the vulnerable age, all the way down. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of, if you watch Sky News regularly, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, I assume has no other job, than to be in the forefront of finding a solution to this problem. That is what is happening in the United Kingdom. They colonized us for many years before we got independence in 1960. About 1960 to 2021, about 61 years ago. Okay? Now, fast track it back again to Nigeria. What do we have? Tales of woe left, right, and center. As we speak, the most that we saw as far as vaccines go or vaccinations go is that, so the 100,000 that we are getting FOC from only God knows where will be distributed in the following manner: 2,000 to Lagos and some amount, maybe 3,000 to Kano, and so that kind of complete rubbish. Rubbish. And what is making the rounds, what is making the rounds that I haven't yet seen on the pages of newspapers is the politics of vaccination, which would bring, we believe, because we don't have a cure, but we do have a vaccine in the world, which we believe will bring some succor and relief to this current predicament. But what do we have? It is being said, that Pfizer is the lead, in this, is the lead company in this. It is being said that they're virtually getting frustrated because they're being tossed back and forth by officials of the federal government. Typical Nigeria. What we are now trying to suggest to them is, whilst they're trying to sort out whether you want to do business with the Chinese at $12 or with other companies at $8, the reason for the $4 difference being fairly known to you and I. We don't need to stress that this morning and stress ourselves. The company, I think Pfizer and some of the other companies are ready to deal with the private sector in this manner, meaning that they wouldn't mind if once we can get the approvals of the federal government. Now remember that this vaccine has been approved in Europe, in America, and whatever. I don't know what superior knowledge we have. I don't have a problem with that. But can we please put pressure on the government to fast track this process so that if anything at all, if we can have an NNPC or an Access Bank or UBA or even a state government or local government saying like, look, so and so company, can you please bring this and come and organize vaccination for our people? It will at the very least bring the numbers down. And at $8, or for sake of an argument, plus or minus, bring it up to $10 per shot. I don't think it is something that would kill most organizations. Nigerians, if you sit on your backsides, our leaders would lead you into early death and whatever. I can assure you, it will be tales of woe. Because the politics, of course, behind this politics of these vaccines, like we hear, is, of course, the idea that the thinking in government circles, generally across the board, is that every opportunity to make money must be harnessed to the hilt. But we cannot afford to sit back and let people play Russian roulette with our lives. We cannot sit back and let people play bingo or Baba Jebu with our lives. If you have seen a video that went viral of what goes on in the isolation center, I have not been able to have a good night's sleep in the past 4 to 5 days. In the past 4 to 5 days. And it is so bad, do not be deceived by what you read. It is so bad that it looks as if every other person that you know now has either died of COVID or is facing that challenge.
Or has one, yes.
So
yes.
I would like to call on the
You're right on that.
activists, the labor, and so on and so forth, to please put pressure, extreme pressure, whatever it takes, to get these civil servants and politicians off their backsides and save many Nigerian lives. It is shameful. There is no hope for the average Nigerian as we speak. Imagine at this point, COVID started for everybody at the same time. Mm-hmm. At this point, all we are being told is, oh, hospitals won't be able to handle serious COVID cases soon. So what do we do? So what are you doing? Sheriff, look at another story here that was inside the papers here concerning COVID. It says, Ogun tests only 50,000 residents, 1% of the population.
That's right. I saw the story too.
Is that a serious country? Is that a serious country? Ogun tests 50,000 residents, and that is 1%. And by the time you go find out, they're probably party leader of Ward 2, party leader of Ward this, Ward that. We are not interested in their 100,000 vaccines that are coming, because we jolly well know if 2,000 vaccines get to Nigeria, we know which households will benefit immediately. There are close to about 30, 40 people in just one household, just down the corridor here. That is the way it's going, because we say, we cannot give just Baba, we must give all his staff, so that, that kind of nonsense. So we are not interested. We are also not, when I say we are not interested in the 40% that they're talking about, we are not interested because we don't know what is holding it up. We're busy looking for free vaccines. Let the government take a look at these vaccines, approve like other countries have done, and let Nigerians make their own private arrangements. A lot of us don't have the means to go to Dubai to get that. And I still can't understand the thought behind taking photographs of yourself whilst you're being vaccinated. It's a kind of pepper them thing to show that, oh, I'm the lucky one. I'm good. I'm good to survive. Also, there's an editorial here in the Vanguard talks about natural immunity and COVID-19 vaccines. If you have time, go read it. Nigerians, get ready to save yourselves. I'm not calling for anything violent. No. But demand. It is time for us to get up and demand that something concrete be done. It's not a question of lockdown or no lockdown. Because the story that I find here, it says that this gentleman, the Aliu, says that the decision for a fresh lockdown did not rest with the PTF, but with all Nigerians. What are we going to do? Are we going to conduct what do you call it? Are you going to conduct a referendum before we know whether we need to lock down or not?
Maybe he's just saying that if Nigerians keep disobeying the protocols and guidelines, they might just have to lock down.
That's not what he's saying. Is that the decision rests with them. He says on lockdown, the decision for lockdown is in whose hands? It is not in the hands of the PTF. It is in the hands of all of us and the general public. Because who wants to have a lockdown? It is the job of government to take a very firm decision. No matter how unpopular it is, if it is necessary, that is the mark of a good leader.
Government has to do what government has to do.
Government has to do what government has to do. In other countries, apart from the United States of America, even the man who hasn't been sworn in is in the forefront of the COVID battle. What are we talking about here? That is why, Sheriff, I always say that the leadership of Nigeria needs somebody who is hands-on. Who every morning, like Boris Johnson is doing, every morning is looking at the issues and taking very firm decisions. We all know the problem that we have with our president, and that's the way he is, that's the way he's structured. But if he's going to be dilly-dallying on service chiefs and security and whatever, we cannot allow that to happen with our lives. We are not too sure, out of all of us listening to me now, including myself, that will be here tomorrow.
Yes.
With the way this thing is going.
Nobody is certain.
So, I'd like to call on, let us put pressure. At $8, you will even have leaders in communities who will be ready to pay for their people. Right. And let us see if we can get the numbers down. I don't think approval of that vaccine should take a lifetime. If it's been approved by countries that have
it's been sanctioned for emergency use in most countries.
In most countries.
Yeah. In most countries, actually. But sticking to that, what do you think about the planned reopening of schools on January 18?
Anybody who wants to, play Baba Jebo Russian roulette with his child, should send him to school on January 18. If I had any child of school age, he or she is not going anywhere. You don't need to be told. You can see what is happening. If there's anybody out there who believes that it doesn't watch television, see what's happening all over the world. Nigeria is not any different. And in a situation where Ogun State is boasting of having tested only, how many did I say?
50,000.
50,000.
Right.
Well,
that's a typical example of what we've done.
We don't suffer finish. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with us. There is something. Look, I saw somewhere. Unfortunately, I didn't see it in the physical papers. The commissioner of police was saying that, they are going to start arresting people who drive without numbers and so on and so forth. But when he was going to be made commissioner of police, who are the people he visited to put in a word for him? They are the same set of people. There is something intrinsically wrong with the brain of the average Nigerian. The elite, so to speak. There is something wrong with us. We're obeying the law. We are not having care for the other man. Because what is going to happen is this. Check out Emirates and the flights to all these countries now, any moment from now, they'll be filled to the brim. So they'll take care of themselves and bind the rest of us to the Philistines. It is very sad.
Like we said the other day, yes, Atiku showed himself getting vaccinated, but there are more well-to-do Nigerians who had gone to take
I tried to be polite because I didn't want to stoke any fire.
Yeah.
But I wonder how I would be taking a vaccination when I know there are millions of my fellow. Okay, I'm in a position to do so.
Yeah.
I know that millions don't have that hope. And I'll now allow myself, because it was photographed in various stages, and put it out in the social media. It is the most wicked thought that would occur to me.
You're saying it's quite insensitive.
It's not insensitive, it is wicked. What purpose was it supposed to serve? When it is done in other countries, the idea is to encourage people.
Yeah.
The vaccines are there, you have access to it. By the way, they had problems in the UK yesterday. Can you imagine? A lot of people didn't even turn up again. But that's another story entirely. But the whole idea is to encourage the people. Okay, now you got the vaccine in Dubai, there's no vaccine in Nigeria. So who are you encouraging to do what? Shall we go they put vegetable oil inside syringe and be vaccinating ourselves? Or we'll be putting agbo in there? Look at what we have to resort to.
Right.
If you come to my small kitchen here now, it's like a small babalawo's whatever, all kinds of
all kinds of things.
All kinds of things.
About agboni on my bone.
Not to talk of the one I'm carrying right now.
Left pocket.
If I see COVID coming out. But the story of Nigeria is a sorry story, and I can tell you, I'm beginning to do a rethink. I'm sorry, but I have to mention this.
Right.
I'm beginning to ask myself, if you continue doing this nonsense job that you are doing, you might end up in an asylum, because a lot of things I cannot explain.
Right.
I cannot explain how I would be a member of this FCDC, or I'd be the head, and not be rushing and looking to get NAFDAC to quickly try and let us see how many numbers. Whilst we are looking for money or looking for the free ones or whatever, let us get our people vaccinated. You don't see that zeal. Every day they come to tell you tales of woe, telling you that the decision to lock down lies with you. The decision all over the world, nobody wants to lock down.
Right.
It is enforced.
Right, it is. All over the world.
In the spirit of leadership,
yes.
It is enforced for people to, that this is the best thing to do. It's like saying you can't give your child an injection because you don't want him to cry.
Right. To be fair, Ekiti State, it was a clear departure. Ekiti State had to revise their own lockdown from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. The federal government lockdown is 12 a.m. to 4 a.m.
That means that you probably have a right-thinking leader there. Now, this is how it works. If you give the license to these companies to bring the vaccines down, some states like Ekiti will buy for their own people. If maybe someone would also be benevolent and buy for the majority of us in Lagos. You understand what I'm saying? Some states are probably ready to go, but they're being held up by the politics and whatever inactivity of the civil servants and the politicians in Abuja. And we are the ones people are dying like flies.
Like you said, some things are just beyond normal brain comprehension.
It is also because we don't have a value and put a premium on human life. We are on human life. We are selfish people. And we all of us like to have this attitude that, oh, I'm a lucky one. It's the reason why it has become fashionable not to obey the law. Inspector General says nobody should have a escort. As we speak, I can roll out 20 names. I can roll out 25, 50 names. Bank MDs, party chieftains, princes, top government officials who are not entitled. Can the commissioner,
even some private individuals, some normal private individuals.
Can the commissioner of police give me a sense of and tell me where all his men are at any given time? Doesn't he see when he's going on the road, when he sees these people, they've created a big marketing industry for those who sell these pickup vans. You know, and then they go and buy this strobe light for the airport. That's all you need with these loud horns. These things happen day in, day out. You are in a country where an inspector general gives an instruction to his men, and it is not obeyed.
That's a shame.
And nothing happens.
It's a shame. It's a big shame. Let's move on to other stories quickly. Forces plotting to unleash religious violence on Nigeria. DSS alert. Riders, DSS only out to create fear, panic. That's according to CAN. Says it's a ploy to stop clerics from speaking on state of the nation.
You see how
very interesting story.
You see how dysfunctional we are as a society.
Very, very interesting story.
You see how dysfunctional we are as a story. The DSS has the responsibility, whether you like it or not. The DSS has the responsibility to take charge of the security of the nation. And if they see something coming, it is within their responsibility, okay, to alert the nation that, oh, we can see this thing coming. That is what they are paid to do. Now, what is the relevance of CAN saying that it is only out to create fear and panic? Why would the DSS want to do that? Either which way, it shows there's something wrong somewhere. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're putting your hand somewhere.
No, I scratched my head.
Okay.
and said that, oh, it's only a ploy to stop clerics from speaking on the state of the nation. That is the way our mind works. If you say people that
everybody is out against you.
If you say what's the beans that you eat, if you say what's the beans that you eat, there's poisonous beans around. They say, okay, it is because you know that Sheriff he eats more and ogi every morning. Therefore, he's the target. Let us leave our officials to do their job. What I expected the CAN to do is to wait, because the DSS instruction is very explicit. Is to wait and watch things grow. You cannot. You cannot run down a government agency because, look, just because that is the way you feel. CAN cannot claim to be competing with the DSS. It is wrong. What do you think this country would be like, but with all our criticisms of these agencies? What do you think this country would be like if you had it? So is CAN saying that we should completely disregard what the DSS is saying? Or what? We need to be matured in this country. But personal interest will not allow this to happen. And who are these CAN people anyway? We have seen the kind of confusion that our religious leaders are throwing us in. You remember the one that I was supposed to have gone to university with? See how he has embarrassed himself? This is happening again. Religion is your job is to save souls, not to get involved in all this politics. That's your primary aim. And Reverend Kuka, what he said is right. I have no problem with it. But the DSS saying that there's a plan to unleash religious violence. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think that reference is to
it's
Reverend
against
Kuka.
anybody. It's to attack anybody. No.
And we know those who would want to unleash violence. Definitely not. Is it, I think it's a bishop now, sir. Bishop Kuka.
That's right.
But you know, personal interest, wanting to keep your hold on the minds of the people. You see, I maintain again, what is going to ruin this country if we care not? The people that are going to ruin this country are politicians, are civil servants, and believe you me, the third in line is our religious leaders. They're toying with our minds. And there is enough out there for you to know that these people have an interest that is at variance with yours. Most of them. But that's a story for another day. Time
Yes, it's a story for another day. Now, let's take this last story here. Buhari sees what Nigerians don't see about service chiefs, the presidency.
This is my friend Gabashew.
Your good friend.
I think that I have only one comment to make about this, and that is that again, one more time, Gabashew has insulted Nigerians. That is all I need to say. Gabashew has insulted Nigerians by saying that one man sees what 200 million people cannot see. Then there must be something. There must be something wrong somewhere. Because the truth is, the president is only one person, is only human. And it is these kind of things that urge this poor man on to think that he's continually doing the right thing. We have said the least of the problem with retaining the service chiefs, the least of it all, is morale. If they don't move, other people don't move. And it is these people at the back that you expect to work to the optimum. That's the least of the reasons. Morale. Because in the military, everybody looks at the next rank.
Right.
And you're asking a man to put his life on the line when he knows there's no vacancy at the top. It's a simple logic. If the president doesn't see that, I'm sorry, I can't help him. If Gabashew doesn't see that, I'm sorry, I can't help him. But to make this kind of statement, Gabashew is known, unfortunately, is a nice gentleman, fine gentleman. But I do not think he knows what it takes to handle issues like this. It probably should have stopped at being a good journalist. Himself and Femi, I respect Femi and himself a lot. I don't have any problem with them on a personal level. But their competence in this job are always called to question. And that is because it was unfair to have given them this job in the first instance. The job of a media handler for any chief executive is not a job for a journalist. It's a job for somebody, not that the journalist doesn't have strategic thinking, but his focus is completely different. The background for this job is public relations. Somebody who can gauge public, a journalist is a different ballgame entirely. There are a few people who have crossed the line, across the line, move from this, but it is not automatic. It is not automatic, and those who know what they know, with due apologies to my friend,
to your friend,
will tell you that it is definitely not the job for a journalist, and therefore, all I can say about this statement is that we've been insulted one more time. But we will pardon him because our focus now is on how to stay alive. How to stay alive is our focus now. A lot of us want to be in a position to eat free John in Good Friday, which is about 3 months away. And the only way that thing is going to happen is for us to have vaccines. Beg, borrow, or steal. Let us have something. Even if $8 is how much? Okay, $10 is how much? It's about 4,000 something. Did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we take care of those who can actually afford this thing at some point, then we'll be able to subsidize for the rest of the poor. It's simple logic.
Right.
But this politics behind, okay, no, it's only the Chinese we are going to deal with, and theirs is more expensive. But you and I know what can make, you and I know the reasons why things like this can happen. And let me tell, the government should also know there are no free lunches anywhere. Anybody who gives you free vaccines now is going to be coming for payback, and they won't wait for too long.
That's right. Jimmy, we have to go. What's coming up at 8? At 9, rather.
At 9, we're going to look at it's COVID.
Okay.
We're going to look at, I have somebody, she's the president of the event planners, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We want to look at how, maybe, because my stand is that we should cancel all forms of entertainment and worship, anything that will make people congregate. So I'm most likely going to have an argument with her.
Yeah.
But I will give her space to tell us how best we can, because people are not following the protocols.
That's right.
People are just not following the protocols.
Right.
And I'm so worked up and desperate for us to have a solution. We can't continue to live in tension.
No, we can't. It's not a good direction to go. Jimmy, thank you so much for coming on Dailies today. Please join Jimmy Disu at 9 o'clock on Daily Digest. It will be live on Facebook and YouTube at the time as well, so you can watch online as well. Jimmy, again, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, many thanks to our sponsors, MTN Nigeria. Let's go to a break right now, and when we return, we'll bring you the news, and we talk about Amoniles and land grabbers in Lagos. Do stay here with us. Don't go anywhere.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.